What's going on? It's the RapNerd, and I've been waiting to do this video for a long time, and I think I finally found a perfect week with not much going on that I can drop this video. Now, if you've seen the title, you are right, and this is what we're here for. How to make your first short film for your own safety commentary. Now, I made a couple of short films before this, two to be specific. I had Choices of Halloween, which I dropped in 2020, and then I had another one called The Other Side, which I dropped in 2020 as well. And initially I was gonna make this like the commentary I did on my other short, Choices of Halloween, where I'm just kind of going through the video and doing shots. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make this a how-to video for the filmmaker that clicked this video. Yes, you, because I speak to a lot of filmmakers and they think that they can't do it, and they're always putting it to the side saying, I can't do it, I'm waiting for this type of resource, blah, 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 blah. I'm here to tell you that you can do it because I don't have that many resources. I haven't been hired by a professional company. I haven't shot a feature-length film myself. I didn't go to film school. I am not some aficionado, a tech person. Like, to be real with you, when it comes to cameras, I am beginner at most. Like, I don't know the ins and outs of a camera like somebody who has studied that. So, and I'm saying this now because a lot of times directors wait until they're like huge and have done a few feature lengths to come back to, you know, the smaller guys and tell them what to do. And while I do respect that, I know for me personally, a lot of times I hear advice from these guys and I'm like, are you sure you're not leaving stuff out? Like, you shot multi-million-dollar movies. How am I supposed to believe you? So what better way to get you off your feet by another person who's a peer with you, you know, to tell you how I did my first film. They can take everything I said in consideration. I'm not professional, no film degree, none of that. This is just a guy with a vision who dreams to be a director, right? So one of the reasons why I started shooting short films is because I want to be able to have a sense of control as a director once I do get on set for a feature and I have to tell people what to do, tell people to do this, and have an idea of what I need done. Because as a director, when you're on set, everybody around is looking at you for the decisions, even if it's collaborative. Like, your lighting person can't make suggestions or collaborate to make your film better if the director doesn't know what they're doing. So that's one of the reasons I think every director needs to be working on shorts. That way, when you get to the place when you're working with a crew, you already know what you're doing, you know what I'm saying? Or you have an idea of how to craft a vision and give that vision to others so they can see and make the picture work, you know what I mean? So that's the first thing. And again, with anything, it takes practice. You know, short films are just practice. The same way you shoot jump shots in the gym, the same way they scrimmage, the same way rappers, you know, do freestyles and mixtapes. It's all practice for the big game, you know. So that's why I think you should do it. And I don't want any filmmaker who is destined for greatness just to put themselves to the side like, I don't have the perfect thing, blah, 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 blah. I don't have the perfect thing either. So what I'm going to do is kind of give you a run through of my knowledge and what I know and what I did to get my equipment, and then we're going to do commentary on the video, okay? So let's start with everything. So like I said earlier, I'm not an aficionado on equipment or how to shoot and what cameras, blah, blah, blah. All of this is stuff that I just learned on the fly, watching YouTube channels, watching an immense amount of my favorite films, and just kind of getting an idea of like, okay, how do you get that look? And I'll look it up and research it. You know, that's where it started from for me. So first of all, I don't have a camera. I don't have a camera, people say. Listen, they have phones out today that have excellent quality. I mean, what I'm recording on now is a phone, point blank period. This is a cell phone. So if you have a cell phone, you can make it happen. But if you want a camera, I'll show you which one that I use, right? This is a Canon EOS M50 mirrorless. It cost me about $800. And I know you guys hear that price tag and like, I don't have $800. Well, I didn't either. I bought this thing on QVC and I bought it in 5 payments. And pretty much I broke this camera down in about maybe 2 or 3 months, I think, because it's 1 payment per month. So over the span of however many months, I just paid this thing off, no interest, no nothing. So right there is the gem. Need a camera, QVC, and get a payment plan. So that's already axed. Next thing, I guess I'll revert back to my other shorts now. I said I shot 2 other shorts, The Other Side and The Choices of Halloween. Both of those short films, I didn't shoot myself. Like, I wasn't my own cinematographer, and that's why I couldn't really go in depth about what I did for those. I had another guy be my cinematographer because I didn't have a camera at the time. So both of those two dudes shot for me, but this one, For Your Own Safety, I shot myself. I directed it, I wrote it, and I was a cinematographer. So that's me holding the camera. So that's why I can really go in depth about the process here. So talk about the camera, right? I bought this shoulder rig, right? Put it right on the shoulder, camera goes here, and this gives you smooth transition, right? Like, all the movement in that film came from this thing, and I can tell you right now, this thing is smooth. So I can only imagine when you pay for like even, you know, more equipment or something that's even better, you know. So, and this thing was about $65, so you can easily buy this, and it came with all of this. Like, it's pretty easy to put together. It comes in pieces, but it's not difficult. And I'm telling you, this is one of the best things you can own if you have a camera and you plan on shooting short films or any film in general. Even if you want to, you're doing, you know, commercials or ads or even shooting music videos, getting hired for that. This thing, it gives you nice smooth movement if your camera isn't the greatest as far as, you know, stabilizing itself, because some cameras have self-stabilizers in them, so it just makes it crispy smooth. But again, I'm talking about if you got a shoestring budget like me, this is definitely will help. When I shot this short, I didn't have a microphone for the camera, but I eventually bought one. I don't know why I didn't buy one, because you can find microphones for like $20. You know, again, may not be the best quality, but it's better than shooting and recording with the camera on the recorder on your camera. Microphone always sounds better, and you can actually take it and mix it better than you can from, you know, camera quality. I also bought a square light, and you literally put it on top of the camera, and you can, like, when you press the button, it changes brightness and it changes colors too. So this light specific is like white, and then it gets brighter, brighter, brighter. And I think it's blue and it's red. So I had this on top of my camera, and I brought it with me just in case, because if you saw my short film, I shot it at night. So I wanted to buy something to keep it in. This was cheap. This was like, I mean, this might have been 20 or under for sure. I know it wasn't any more than that, but just little things that you can do to help enhance, you know, what you want to shoot. And my laptop is basic. I don't even have a MacBook. Like, I have like a basic ass Windows laptop that's just like basic ass HP laptop, and the processor is not even all that good. Like, honestly, trying to edit videos can be a biatch sometimes because the processor isn't strong enough, but you gotta do what you gotta do, and I make it work. So I just want to let y'all know that everything is makeshift, man. Like, everything is shoestring budget. I'm just trying to make it work, you know what I mean? So I think that's all the equipment. So I guess next is the how-to process. You got your equipment, you got everything that I said you know, that I pointed out here, and you're like, okay, but how do I shoot it? What do I do? First, you got to come up with the idea. That's the easy part. Everybody can come up with the idea. I came up with the idea, wrote it, and again, it wasn't no complex, thick script. And I would say, if you haven't seen my short film, I would suggest you kind of go see it first, and then come back to this video and watch it, you know, because the equipment doesn't matter. But from this point on, I'm going to be talking specifically about the process of planning and pre-planning how I shot this thing. All right, so wrote it, got the idea down. And when you're writing a short, right, as a director, you want to shoot something that you know is going to be easy for you to do. Whether that means location, you know, you're going to be able to control the location better. Somewhere that you know is gonna fit your camera best, you know, that you can capture it you know, the best wherever it is. Because my whole short film was all natural light, pretty much. We was in the dark, and I didn't control or manipulate any of the lights that were in the short film. So this was all just shooting on spot and making sure that I had my shit together. So when you're writing the script, make sure it's something that is accessible, and keep the locations minimal if possible. You know what I'm saying? Because you just never know. You don't want to pick somewhere that you think that the street's going to be clear, and come to find out the day of shooting, it's over. So pick a right location that's easily to, you know, access. And then once you get the story, you know, the idea, what you want to do. Personally, what I do is I storyboard. That's the next step. And everybody doesn't do that. I know storyboarding isn't something that all directors do, but for me personally, I storyboard every single scene of the short. Probably not gonna be able to see it that well, but like, this is her when she gets out of the car right here, and then walks to the hotel. And the thing about this book is, it's not even the right storyboard book. This is like a comic book, you know what I'm saying? So you just do what you say. Like personally, what I do is I storyboard every single scene. I know, like I said, everybody doesn't do that, but for me personally, storyboarding it out and planning as much as possible makes it easier to maneuver when you're on your location shooting, because if you know exactly how you want to shoot it, if something goes wrong, you still have an idea of how you planned it in your head. Because like personally, since I can't manipulate lights, since I can't manipulate the location, the thing I focus on is the framing of the actors who are in the film. Like if I know where the placement's gonna be for the characters, that's all that matters. Because once you get on scene and the background switches, you can adapt to it. Because you're like, okay, I know I want her here, and I know I want the monster here, or whatever it is you shoot. I want this here. You already know the balance and being able to use the all of the rules. Once I storyboarded, I did my own previs, and I did this on my Choices of Halloween too, that short film. But I literally, the night before, I went to the location and I ran through every scene with my camera, just imagining like, okay, this is how I'm gonna shoot this, I'm gonna follow, I'm gonna move this way, and I did the whole short film that night. I took my storyboard book with me just to be like, okay, I'm capturing this shot, and it's not only gets you in place of how you should shoot it, and like it pretty much is making sure that your storyboard matches up with the location, because again, you can't always plan the location. You don't always know when you're writing this stuff. You're just kind of thinking like, okay, I kind of want this to be that. So the previs kind of links the two, and you're like, all right, so this is what I'm gonna do. And it also allows you to test your camera. You need to see like, okay, if it's too dark, I need to get extra lights. If it's too cold, or it's cold right now, I need to make sure my people got jackets. And it's just making sure that everything lines up before, and you know what you're getting yourself into before you get on the set of shooting. Because with every short that I did, I literally had to shoot it in one night. That's it. I couldn't do reshoots. I couldn't go back to location. It was either there or that's it. So I previewed the whole thing, and that gave me the confidence I needed to go on to the next day to shoot. And again, like I said earlier, when you're the director, even in a short film, you get one actor. They're basing it off of what you say. So you have to have an idea and pretty much know what you're talking about, because if you don't, they're going to be looking at you like, what do I do? Do I need to do this? No, you need to be able to understand how your film is supposed to go, so you can be like, okay, when you come this way, you need to walk a little bit slower, or like stay here and let the camera come to you. And then when I get here, you need to be able to fluently give that information to who you're working with, whether it be somebody you have working with lights. You tell them like, hey, blah, blah, blah. It's about being able to command your set and control your set as a director. So previs is super important. And to me at least, again, I don't know how other people do it, and all of this stuff is just what I do, and I'm hoping that I can give this to y'all and whoever's watching, to take what you will from my process and take it, and make it your own. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, my process is the end all be all. This is just me. I'm a super planner. Some people can just come on set and just shoot like it's nothing. I can't do that. You know what I mean? So all of that is how I got to the point of the day of shooting. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling you, you guys can do it. I didn't spend no big money on none of this stuff. All I did was I came out my pocket to buy that hotel, and that's about it. And I spent, I think all of this equipment cost maybe under $2,000, and it was all spread out. So filmmakers, you go out there and do it. If you don't want to watch my commentary, just listen to everything I just said in that 15 minutes, and please just get out there and shoot it, edit it, believe in yourself. You can do it. If I did it, you can do it. I got pretty good feedback on my joint too. Oh, editing equipment. I didn't say that. I used Power Director, and Power Director is like not even one of the best programs. Like I didn't even have, Final Cut or any of that. Literally Power Director. It's a program out there that you can find right now. And even, this probably gonna get me in trouble, but they have cracked versions of this particular program that you can use just to get started. Just get started, bro. So I use that to edit, and then there's this app on my phone called InShot that I use to color the film. I changed the color grading. There's like some graininess on it that I added to make it gritty. Edited the black levels, moved them up and down where I needed to, added a filter. All of that coloring was on there. But I'm telling you, you can do it. You can do it. All right, so now let's get to the commentary. Let's get into it. I'm gonna be pausing and stopping, so just to prepare you. Shout out my man Phil Fiends, who I do a podcast with, the film wrap up with this dope ass intro. It's fire. Alright, peep this. That light was completely accidental. So we shot this intro about 4 or 5 times. It just so happened that this take in particular, the light was back there flashing. So I did not plan that. It just kind of coincidentally happened, which is dope, man. Which is dope. And all the music on here came from YouTube artists. I literally downloaded all the music from YouTube. Yes, it's copyrighted, so I'm not getting any money on it, which I don't care about that. I just want the creative process to work. And I just went through and tried to find music that all seemed like it was made by the same person. A lot of this, I think, is made by the same person. There's like a few that's different, but for the most part, all made by the same person, yo. So, anyway, keep going. I wish we were done the shot a little bit faster. So initially, this scene, right? Okay, let me stop it. Initially, this scene, right, when she's typing on the phone, was supposed to be shot like from that same POV. It's supposed to be like kind of one shot, but when we did it, it didn't. It just didn't look right. I didn't like it. So this is what I be talking about when I say like storyboard. In my storyboard, it was in one way, but I was able to go like, okay, let's shift it and see what we can do. And I decided to shift it to the side angle. And at first, I had the window all the way up right here. You can see in the reflection. But when I watched it on playback, which is another thing, as a director, if you're directing and shooting the camera, make sure you watch the playback of a scene, of a take that you like, because oftentimes you might not notice certain things because your focus is just solely based on how it looks in the camera, and you're looking at something, you're not paying attention to the reflection in the window, which is what I saw in the playback. So I was like, okay, let me figure something out, and I just decided to roll the window down like halfway, right? And it even made this really, really cool image of showing her in the reflection of what's going on, on the other side, to kind of present this like fake scare, because I did that purposely to make you just look like, okay, what is right there? And it's also kind of a play on the idea of being a border between the real world and this world that she's about to get into. And of course, I didn't have a microphone at this time, so I just was like, you know what? We'll just make this a text message. It'll work out better that way, And plus, everybody texts anyway. And all of these sound effects were added in post. All the sound was actually. So, get a microphone. Okay. This scene, right, with the leg dripping, this was supposed to be actually somebody who was coming to help me, but they didn't show up. Oh, not show up, but they called out and couldn't do it. So that's what this scene happened. So what I had to do again was think on the fly, and that's actually me standing there with my leg, looking at her walking away. And but what it was really supposed to be shot like was, you were supposed to see over the shoulder of the person, because I wanted this shot to be homage to Halloween, the first one from '78, when Michael Myers was just looking at Jamie walk away. You saw him over the shoulder. It was supposed to be that, right? And then I was gonna do another shot from her distance of the person standing there from afar, so you could see them, see their outfit or whatever they have wearing. That way, later on, it pays off and you know who it is. So some people are confused about that, understandably so, but you got to make shit work, how it works. But I'm proud of how this looks, man. I love it. That was me standing there squeezing blood on myself. And initially, this was supposed to be one long shot of her just walking. And two things I noticed when I looked back at it. For one, I can kind of see myself in the reflection as I'm walking with her. And then two, it's a little boring just showing her walk. So I was like, you know what? Let me try a few different angles to chop midway to kind of keep the story pushing. You know, all things that you just, discover while shooting. Did you see her? I don't know if you saw it, but it kind of reminded a little bit. If you look closely, you can see somebody in the corner. I'm just gonna pause it right when it happens. All right, here we go. No, not it. Oh, right there. If you look in that corner, you can see something. You don't really know what it is, but that actually was the actress's idea, Soleil. She was like, would it be creepy if I was just like, you could see me in the room, but she couldn't see me? And at first I was like, that's not really how the story works, man. That's not really how I envisioned it. But then I started, putting it into my own head canon of like, okay, if somebody were to ask me about this down the line, like, how can she see her? I can make up something to actually go with that, right? So I was just like, all right, well, since we're gonna do this, you just be over there, and this took this took a few takes to do, just because I wanted to get it right, because I wanted you to be able to see her, but not see her. Like, I didn't want her to just be standing there, because it wouldn't make sense if you could just flat out see her there and she walks in. I wanted her to be hidden enough to where if you watch it, you're like, was there something right there? I don't know, but yeah. Boom. I love that shot, man. Purposely put that time there so you can remember it. And you can't really hear it, but I took this little piece from Child's Play, like during when Chucky is in the living room and the mom is looking for her. That music is in here, but it's super duper low. It's lower than what I wanted it to be. And I was like, you know what? I don't feel like going back to re-edit and save it just to bring that up. So I said, screw it. Just whatever. You can hear it, you can hear it. And I'm a really big fan of long shots. Like, a lot of my stuff is long shots. I think that's my director, like, that's my thing that you'll see. In the jump cut, so this jump cut happened, right? Because I filmed this thing 2 or 3 times, right? And again, it's something that I was just so in the heat of the moment that I didn't really look back at it during this time. But in all the shots, right, that I did of this, you could see me in the damn reflection of the picture. So I had to like splice it together in the edit, and I was like, I don't like this jump cut, but you gotta make it work the way it works, man. Ooh, did you see it? Love that. Let me see if I can pause it right. No, not it. Boom, you see me? I wanted that to be there specifically. One of those things where it's like if you blink, you miss it. I love seeing stuff like that. That's like you turn away one moment, you miss something. Like I think I don't like wasting frames in my films. That's a goal of mine personally. So yeah, I just wanted to pause it to show it if you didn't see. Did I just see it enough? Let me pause it on her because it's actually pretty creepy. The silhouette is terrifying. All right, let's go. Oh, man. What? She's scary as hell. And I love how the light is just set there. It just adds to the ambiance, man. Another thing I show you the camera light. Time. Ooh, I love that. It's funny, and this is what I was talking about, collaborations, right? My idea initially was to just have her Like when the reveal happened, she's just kind of walking like a zombie, like, or like kind of cracking, like. That was my idea. So I shot that, right? And Soleil, that's the actress who's playing the demon. The other actress is Isis, so I'll probably refer to them as their names. She was like, "What do you think about me like kind of crawling up and then standing?" And I was like, again, it's the director, it's that creative director idea where you're like, it's not really how I envision it, but we can try it. You know what I'm saying? I'm never gonna be like, hell no. You know, that's part of the process. You know, you're collaborating with people. So we tried it out, and as soon as she did it, I was like, oh fuck yes, that's it. And I think we only did it like one time. That's all I needed. Like that shot was it. And I was like, thank you, fantastic job, fantastic job. So oh man, yeah, that just adds the creep factor to it. And then the music building as she like rises. I kind of chopped and edited the music to kind of be a score. Like I edited to the footage, if that makes sense. You know, since I didn't have anybody play it, like I edited all of the music to fit the scene. And so like she did all her makeup. Look at that, she's nuts, bro. And another thing, my dude Chris Dawson on Twitter, he went in here and blacked her eyes out like that. So initially she had black contacts, but she couldn't see out of them. And I'm like, you kind of need to see. And we tried to do it with the black contacts, but it just did not work. She was like, I can't see shit. So I was like, damn. But luckily I knew my man Chris, he did the black Superman teasers for Justice League before the Snyder Cut dropped. And I hit him up. I was just like, look, man, hey, I'll pay you, whatever you need just to do these small little scenes. And he killed this. This is nightmare fuel. Nightmare fuel. But Soleil killed this makeup. I had to capture the movement. All right, okay, I keep pausing it, but that was one of them shots when like, that was like one of those shots, right? Let me pause it to show it, because I really like that shot, man. Oh, also, funny story here. We were shooting this, and apparently there was some dude, there was some it's crazy because the night before, right, when I did my previous, there was nobody here. But this night there was mad people in the hotel, like people walking around, people driving up. So we had to stop and restart. It doesn't look like it, but I filmed it in a way that we just got it done. And there was some dude outside walking, and he was like, what the hell? And Soleil turned and looked at him, and no line, he said, oh hell no. Nah. He took off running. Like he booked it out. Because keep in mind, we shot this in October. Like we shot this maybe a week or two before Halloween. So yeah, it just really made the vibe that much better. Like when Sully was doing her makeup, we was in there watching Poltergeist. Like it was something I'm gonna forever remember. But that's a funny story. But let me just see. Can you hear the voices in the back too? I added that in there. So this shot, if you can see the moon up here. God damn, it's got the Fourier on safety thing. But if you see the moon up here, I initially just shot her just a little bit straight up like how I am right here. But then I saw the moon and I was like, I gotta capture that. It's a full moon too. Come on, this is just the greatest coincidence ever. Okay, so little quick story, right? When we initially shot this, I thought it was perfect because what we did was when I had the camera down to show her going for her keys and I shot it back up, the point of Isis cutting the light on was to tell Soleil to duck down really quick, right? To kind of make it look like a disappearing act. That was the point of her clicking the light. We was like, all right, when she clicks the light, you duck down immediately. And then I'm going to shoot the camera back up to make it look like you disappear. Because I feel like that it works better in just a one-track shot. And it did. A lot of people was like, holy shit. But when we shot it, when I looked back at it, again, I was just in the moment, wasn't focusing. But Soleil's hair, it was like still in the frame. in the window. You can see her hair. So what I had to do, my man Chris Dawson, again, he is a wizard at VFX. If you need to find him to get him to do VFX work, he does an outstanding job. He removed her hair totally from the shot. So like in the original shot, her hair is there, but he just totally wiped it out. You cannot even tell. I don't know how he did it, but he worked his magic. Thank you, my guy. Thank you. Chris Dawson, he's on Twitter. Go on Twitter, find him if you need something. Did an outstanding job. I wanted to pan the camera around too in the same shot so you don't think it's any type of trickery. And that was, you know, Michael. He blacked my eyes out there too. And this whole scene is completely different than I thought. I really knew where I wanted to go, but I just couldn't figure something out. And then there's mad people. There's mad people there. So we had to figure something out. Okay, I'm talking about mad people. So initially what we were supposed to do was, like, when she backs out, I was gonna be in the front seat shooting, and Soleil was gonna be behind the car again. And then as she pulled off, I wanted Soleil to like run after the car, and then I turned the camera and watch Isis drive out. That was the plan, but it was just too much going on, and it was getting late. So I was just like, you know what, you just back out and drive. I added like a little speed increase to it to just make it seem like you sped out, because the area was so small, there were so many people. Isis, and I didn't want her to do it anyway, like to back out quickly and mess around and hit somebody. But like I said, it still worked and got the job done. I wanted to frame this specifically because this is the whole third act, or whatever. I'm a fan of long takes. What can I say? Okay, so interesting thing, right? I don't know if you can see me in the shadow. That's the person running up to the camera. Well, man, I'm gonna just let it play out. Right. The person running to the camera is me. Again, I was supposed to be the person at the beginning with the leg, the blood on the leg. That was me. That was supposed to be another person. That way, you could see the same outfit as I get closer and realize, like, oh shit, that's the same person from the beginning. So this person right here is the same character as the one in the beginning when she first stepped out the car. You know, again, shit happens. You gotta roll with it. And I wanted to keep it all one track, one shot. Like, total coincidence that light cut off. Total coincidence. So if that was me running and Soleil was in the back, how do we get that shot? Okay, so pretty much what I did was I took the camera, and again, I got this harness, not this harness, I got this shoulder rig, and I put it in the window, and I rolled the window up enough to keep the camera stuck between the window, so it's just stuck there. And then I just ran across the street and just did it pretty much. Like, I pressed record, ran all the way down there, and ran my ass all the way, you know, to it, because it had to be one shot. Like, that's to me what makes it scary. Like, if you cut it, it's like, it's trickery. But I wanted it to be one long ass shot that you see somebody coming and running up there, and you don't know what's gonna happen, and then that abrupt stop, run off. And what I did was, right, when we were shooting it, when I stopped and I ran, I yelled, "Go!" And that's when Soleil like kind of counted to herself, and then popped out, you know, yelling. So that was dope, man. We did it, you know, a good damn thing on that. Is there any credits? Oh yeah, there's the blood. I wanted to put the blood on there, drenching down to show you like why you shouldn't leave after. Why you shouldn't leave your room, and you need to pay attention to shit instead of just doing shit. That's funny. So there you have it. That was my short. For your own safety, shot it in one night. Took about 6 hours. We started at like 8:30, ended at like 1:30. Is that 6 hours? Whatever. However many hours that was. It was definitely like 5 or 6. And I shot it all in one night. Started editing the next day, adding the music and all of that. Like I said, it was a grind to do, but I'm so happy and proud of how that project turned out. It got a good little bit of viewership. I now know that I wanted to submit it to festivals, but I now know, thanks to my boys over at Void Video, Evan and Agent, they told me, they let me know that like most places they're not gonna take a submitted video if it's been released already. They want the video to not be released, the short to not be released before they accept it. But I released this first, and then I was like, oh shit, well, that's that. Well, it didn't get any placements on awards, but I'm still just happy how it turned out. Artists and flaws, yeah, but overall, I think it's a pretty damn good showing of what I can do from the director's chair. You know what I'm saying? So, and yes, this is actually a full story. Like, one of the things that I, want to do is, possibly if I could get somebody if I can get a studio to bite, or somebody wants to pick it up or ask me about it, this is a whole story. Like this is just an excerpt of what could happen within that big ass story. Because I'll say this is a hotel that's been here for a while. This is in Canada, the story. This is a hotel that's been here for a while, and they're here for a reason. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe if you enjoyed this content, and until next time, peace. RapNerd Productions, no capping, that's word to mommy.